there, core router table people and everybody else. I thought I would show you some of the techniques you might want to think about using in your core router table drawing. I'll get you started and in this screencast, and maybe I'll do another one that'll go through some of the techniques for putting in the detailing. But for now, I've created a document that is US ArchD width 36 and 24. Make sure you turn off the watermarks. I think some of you guys were having problems with this. Watch what happens if I have the watermarks on. I get this. If you see this, go up to page setup and make sure you turn off the watermarks. And there you go. You should see 36 across the ruler here, 18 up to the 0, and then 18 after the 0, and 24 down the side here on this ruler. 12 above the 0, 12 below the 0. The first thing I want to do is I want to draw the substrate, which is 23 and a quarter wide and 16 high. And I want to put that kind of in the middle of the page. I'm going to insert with the center point, and I'm going to look for that little cross that's the center of my page. And there is my substrate. I now want to draw in the 3 poplar pieces that are all 3/4 of an inch thick around here. So I'm going to create my first rectangle, and 3/4, I'll choose 17 and a half. I'm going to draw the one that's in the front first, and I want to be able to line it up with the middle. So I'm going to choose that insertion point, and I'm going to come over here with my cursor and choose the center point of my substrate rectangle. Now I'm going to create a rectangle that is 15 inches long by 3/4 wide. And I'm going to choose to insert it by this point and click OK. And I'm going to start my rectangle here, because if you remember from your client meeting, our dimension here is 15. Let me increase the text on that. And our dimension here all the way across to the point of the miter. We'll draw the miters in just a minute. Let me increase that. Is 15 and 17 and a half. Now I'm going to use my old friend the mirror tool to draw the other side. Anytime you can use the mirror tool to duplicate and mirror, the better. Now let me show you 2 techniques for drawing the miters here. So first, select all 3 parts and go up to the Modify menu and choose Add Surface. Notice my 3 units now become, my 3 rectangles become just one polygon. So an easy way to do it is just grab the line tool and just draw corner to corner. And there's my miter. Pretty fast, looks pretty good. Option number 2 is actually to cut. I know we just added these parts together, but we added them together only to cut them in a different shape. I'm going to move the substrate out of the way a little bit so you can see this a little better. Grab the split tool, which looks like the little X-Acto knife. Make sure you're in the second mode, which will split by line, and be very careful to draw corner to corner and actually pull your line a little bit through the corner. Now notice I get these few extra handles here. I deselect everything and then just select one, and notice what happened. I actually cut it, and I can use the Object Info palette to close it, and I can use the Object Info palette to close this one. And then if I want to snap the points together, I grab my smart point right on the end and I can snap it back into place. Let me do it down here. Corner to corner. I'm going to go through a little bit more, but I'm going to make sure I get that smart point. Oh, I missed it. I'm going to try again. If you need to zoom in, there we go. Now watch what I can do. I know I've split it. Even though it looks the same, I can close it, and I know that I actually have 2 parts now. Takes a little practice. So two great ways of drawing miters. One just looks like a miter, and one actually creates a part that has the miter cut into it. Either way is fine for a drawing. I now want to draw on this back piece that will be the piece that has the stop rabbit. We can't see the stop rabbit from the plan view, we only see it from the other views, but we know that it is 3/4 of an inch wide. And I'm not going to worry about the height. I'm going to put it in there at, I don't know, something like 10. I'm just going to guess because I'm going to use my points on the screen to resize. So I'm going to put my rectangle there and then make sure I'm in scaling mode. And I'm just going to draw it to the inside edge of my other poplar piece. Now I know I have to rabbit in a 1/2 inch here and a 1/2 inch there, which will add 1 inch to my overall height. So I'm going to make sure I pin the middle because I want both ends, both the top and the bottom, to grow. And I'll add 1 inch. And because I've created this object second, it's the one that I see, and it has a fill, so my rabbit looks good. If I turn the fill off, it doesn't look so good. I get this straight line. So one way to make it look like the rabbit is to make sure that you have a white fill, and you've shown your rabbit. Now, same way, if I really wanted to have this piece cut out, I could select this piece, and this time, rather than using the Add Surface command, I can clip surface. And whatever object is on top is the clipping object. So watch. I have actually clipped that piece. I can use the same object to clip this piece here. So I'm going to select this one and that one and go up to Modify, Clip Surface, and I've now created that part. So pretty fast technique for drawing the drawing the rabbit there for the stop rabbit for that back piece there. So play around with it again. Add surface and clip surface. Notice it's grayed out. You have to have your object selected first before Vectorworks will allow you to have those two as an option. The last thing I want to do, or the last couple of things I want to do in this view, is I want to draw in some of the plastic laminate. So I'll show you what I would probably do. There's one of two things. If I just want to show the plastic laminate line, I can draw my line on a known point. And I know my plastic laminate needs to be 12 inches from this point over. The Move command, either in Modify, Move, or Command M, opens up this dialog box. I can type in 12, click OK, and I move my line over. And now all I have to do is resize my line, because remember the plastic laminate covers everything. All right. The other way to do this is to create a polygon. And I can start my polygon this way, and for my first length, type in 12, hit return, pick up that point. Now I'm just tracing my object that's there, and double click ends the polygon. So though it just looks like a line, I actually have a polygon there. And now I can draw the other piece of laminate. So I'm going to use the polygon tool again, and I'll start at this point, click on that corner, 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 and finish back where I started with a double click. So you can see my polygon there. Now in your client meeting, you were told not to make this plastic laminate a hard corner. You want a radius. So you can use the chamfer tool. I'll set my fillet radius for 3/8, and I can pick up that edge and that edge, this edge and that edge, and I've created my plastic laminate. To help you guys figure out which are hidden lines and which are visible lines, I'm going to give my plastic laminate a color. In fact, I'll give it a, I don't know what color you guys are using, if it's the genuine artificial wood grain or if you have a different color plastic laminate, but let's see what, we'll find you something equally good. Ooh, no. The genuine artificial faux wood grain is better than that. There we go, something like that. So if you were to look down from the top of your router table, are any of the parts we just drew underneath the laminate visible? No, they're all covered by the plastic laminate. Let me get the fill out of there. So that would mean that all of these lines under here should be dotted lines because they are all hidden lines. So I can carefully select all of my parts, making sure not to select my polygon, and with the attributes palette, change their line style to dashed. And you have your hidden lines, you have your overall size, you've got your laminate seam, and now it's just a matter of you guys putting some dimensions on. So you can pull a dimension for the overall size, you'll increase the size. I'll let you guys work on the dimensioning. But I thought I would go through some pretty fast techniques to draw the router table, and these are techniques we just learned in class in the last week or two.